Hello, if you are watching this video, it means you were recently hired as a certified ophthalmic assistant at Park Nicollet Clinic. Congratulations. This is a very brief informational training that is intended to help you understand what an eye exam is and the responsibilities that will be expected of you before you start your hands-on training in the exam room. So let's get started. All right, so we are first going to go over the definition of an eye exam. We're going to then look at visual acuity and then how to conduct an eye exam. Once all of this is done, we're going to review all that you've learned, and then we're going to go over the next steps that you will be taking in this training process. Upon completing this training, you will understand and know of all the components that a CE encompasses. So as defined by Park Nicollet's Eye Department, a comprehensive eye exam, also known as CE, is an evaluation of the health and vision of the eyes. It is an exam that tests for clarity of the vision and looking at any disabilities or diseases that might be present. Visual acuity, as defined by the American Optometric Association, is the clarity or sharpness of the vision. Normal vision is 20/20. Meaning that a person can see an object or objects clearly when standing about 20 feet away. So when testing for visual acuity, it's important to know the two types of visual acuity you will encounter. They are myopia and hyperopia. Myopia is nearsightedness, meaning you can see near, but have difficulty seeing objects far in the distance. Hyperopia is the opposite. So you can actually see far, but the vision up close is blurry. So now that you know what an eye exam is, and as well as visual acuity, we're going to walk you through how to conduct an eye exam. We are first going to look at how you will test and record visual acuity for the doctor, how to test extraocular movement, and then how to test for visual fields. So in testing for visual acuity, you will ask the patient to sit down in an exam chair like the one in this image here. You will then ask the patient to read the smallest line that they can on the eye exam chart. If the patient wears glasses or contacts, have them just keep them on during this process. So let's say with glasses on, a patient is able to read the 20/25 line, which is this line on the image here, FELOPZD. Just take note of it for the doctor that with glasses, patient can see 20/25. The Ishihara Test book is used to test color blindness. And when testing color blindness, you want to test children under the age of 16. And this all depends on the doctor. Some doctors have the cutoff age at 12. So it's important to know what your doctor wants. And it's essential to test for color blindness early because early detection is key in helping children with any eyesight disabilities. An example other than color blindness is lazy eye. So if treated early, doctors can actually correct the lazy eye, but it's really hard to fix issues like this once the child is much older, and then it's pretty much impossible once they turn into an adult. A person with color blindness has trouble seeing red, green, blue, or mixtures of these colors. And the most common type is like a red-green color blindness, where red and green are essentially the same color to the person. Some ways to help children with color blindness is by using stickers to label colored items at home or to buy self-labeled coloring pencils and crayons. It's also important to make sure your teachers at school are aware of this and also label all the colored items in the classroom to ensure that the child isn't surprised or embarrassed by not knowing which color to use for like an in-class activity or assignment. So this image of the number 12 is found on the first page of every Ishihara book. And every single person, even the individuals who are colorblind, should be able to see this number. If they can't, then that kind of gives you a heads up about what kind of patient you're dealing with. We have a lot of patients who come in who cannot see this number, and it's usually children who really want glasses and are lying their way through an eye exam. So if they can't see this number, then red flag, and you should just let your doctor know. Okay. Next, you will test the extraocular movement of the eyeballs. This is to make sure all of the eye muscles are working properly and as a team. You can either use a little flashlight or a pen for this. For the purpose of this training, I'm just going to use my finger. So you're going to have the patient look at the tip of the object of your choice, and then have them follow the tip of the object from every corner of every quadrant, but without moving their head, only with their eyes. So follow the tip to every quadrant. Last but not least, you will then test the visual fields. This is to make sure they can see in the periphery of their vision. You do this by having the patient cover one eye, look straight ahead, and then you throw up fingers in the corner of each quadrant once again. So let's actually do this together. Let's pretend that the patient has their right eye covered. What you're going to want to do as the person testing the patient is close your eye too, because then this allows you to see if your fingers are out of your line of vision. If it's out of your line of vision, it's out of their line of vision too. So then that gives you a guide, so you're not throwing your fingers around aimlessly and misdiagnosing people for not being able to see in their peripheral. All right, so close your right eye, and then like the extraocular test before, you want to start out in each quadrant. You want to make sure they can see your fingers here, 2, 1, 5, 1, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so one key thing to remember is that your job is to make the doctor's job easier by performing these simple, basic test procedures and then recording information for them so that they know what to expect before they even enter the exam room with the patient. From here, the doctor will take over by performing some in-depth procedures, and then they will write glasses or contact lens prescription for the patient. If the patient is going through some other health issues, eye diseases, cataracts, glaucoma, then the doctor will refer them to the appropriate specialist. From here, you will have hands-on training once you are ready, and this is pretty much you shadowing an experienced COA until you're ready to take on and go solo from here. So this is the end of the informational portion of the complete eye exam. At this point, you should know what a CE is, what visual acuity is, and how to conduct a CE. If you haven't quite gotten it down, just rewatch this training video, and if you're good to go, let your supervisor know, and good luck with the rest of your training.